So I want to talk about motivation and so I want to talk about motivation and how you can actually get it because a lot of people operate under the common misconception, which you might already know about, which is the fact that motivation comes first. So that's rarely the case. Usually, motivation comes a lot later. Um, what comes first is a desire to get somewhere or do something or have an itch that you want to scratch. Um, if it's the first time you've ever done something, yeah, you might have some motivation to get into it. But if it's something you know you need to do that you're not doing, like let's say you're overweight and you don't really like going to the gym and you're not motivated to go to the gym, and if you don't do it, you're just going to end up being overweight and getting ill or all these other things. If you need to do something, you can stimulate motivation and you can start to enjoy it. But what you have to do first is get over the hump and start seeing results. So, usually, successful results will start to um, put petrol on the fire of motivation. That's what it essentially is. It's like, you start off, let's say you're 100 kilograms, and all you've ever done, you've never done any sport, you've never done any gym, you don't know what to do, you don't go on walks often, and you want to you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're just unhappy with yourself. That unhappiness can actually lead to like sort of types of depression as well because you're not where you want to be or where you're meant to be, and that mismatch in your like brain, like ego to reality, is what can cause a lot of people to feel upset. And also, when they know that they're unhealthy and they're still not doing anything about it for like years and years, then it starts to set into your belief system that you're not like a successful person or a bit of a loser or things like that. So how do you get this motivation to actually change the momentum of your life? So what you've got to do is there's a few things. So you've got to start small, and then you've got to make it personalized so that you will actually enjoy bits of it. So let's say get into the gym. I'm just using this as an example, but it could be anything. Like just get just do something to try and convince you to go to the gym. Okay, you don't have to even work out, just go to the vicinity. Okay, so if you've never been to the gym ever and you don't know what you're doing, just go to the vicinity of the gym, enter the gym. If the gym has a sauna, a pool, a jacuzzi, like a restaurant, a cafe, just go get yourself. I know this sounds really minor, but just go get yourself a coffee in the gym. Like, go or just drive down and walk to it and just look at it and be in the vicinity of it. So, this sounds really minor, but it's essentially like you put in there's a big boulder that you've got to get momentum. This is essentially like the equivalent of like putting your hands on the boulder. Like you're not going to move it just by putting your hands on it. You got to push it. But if you don't put your hands on it, you're not going to move it at all ever. So you need to go down, just get yourself a coffee, maybe do it a few times, just get yourself like comfortable with the environment there or whatever it is, whether it's gym or whether it's you know an art class or something like that, just something in the vicinity. And then the next step while you're there, after a few times, is actually talk to someone there. Maybe talk, see how you can sign up, blah, 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 blah. And just take small steps, steady steps. You don't have to jump straight into like the heavy gym session straight away because one thing you got to be careful of is if something's too much of a sudden change in your life, um, that whole frog in when like you boil a lobster or whatever, or boil a frog, and you've got to boil it slowly because If you boil it slowly, they don't realize that they're getting boiled. But if you pop them right into boiling hot water, they're just going to jump out. And that's like a civilizational metaphor, but it's also like one for changing your life. So if you want to, you're essentially the frog that you want to boil into a better version of yourself. I know it's a bit of a dark analogy, but it kind of is. You got to kill off your old self in a way. Um, so you've got to really slowly just turn up the the intensity and frequency that you go in, because if you were just to go straight away and lift a really heavy session, what will happen? Well, you're going to feel crap after it because your body's not used to it. You're not really going to know what you're doing. You might embarrass yourself because you're not doing a proper technique and you're just winging it, and you're seeing everyone else who's already jacked, and you're seeing they're just like looking at me. You might feel self-conscious and all that kind of stuff, and that's going to demotivate you from going again. So start with like laughably small steps to just get yourself and get the momentum of of your life just slowly moving towards a different direction. Don't try and rush it. Don't try and it's a marathon, not a sprint. And then eventually in the metaphor, you start going to the gym, you start doing really light sessions, like a couple of weeks, and then you start seeing the weight scale, or maybe not even the weight scale, because you might not know anything about diet yet, but you start to feel like you've got a bit of muscle come in, or you start to feel like when you go for a walk to work, you're not out of breath as much, you're not sweating as much, your skin might look better. You'll start to see small signs, and then you'd be like, okay, what I'm doing is working. Why is this happening? And then you look into it, and then because you've experienced the change, it like it motivates you to look into that change, why that happened, how can I accelerate that change. And this is when you start developing your knowledge bank. And when you start developing your knowledge bank, it starts breeding confidence that what you're doing in the gym or whatever metaphor, artwork or whatever, is in heading in the right direction, and that you start to go up the exponential ladder. And this is when you start going a bit more frequently, start like getting a training session, start making Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays your days that you go to the gym, and you start getting friends there, and you start having a routine, you make it part of your life, and then you start to enjoy it, and then you start to see like real heavy results, and your body's getting really in good shape, and you're starting to see the wet scales come down, and then if you were to compare yourself at that point to the person that you were however long it was before you started the process, you're a totally different person at that point. And that's a good thing because it just continues on further into that direction. So at the start, when you first do it, the second thing is you've got to make sure that there's something in there that you actually enjoy about it. So, um, like, I'm going to use the gym example again. Get yourself some nice clothes, or um, do some whatever you enjoy, whether it's like, if you're a nerd like me, like I built an AI training program, like a specific chat GPT for me to track my calories and to give me sets and all that kind of stuff. And because I know quite a bit about the gym already, so it's not really like a good example. But if I was waning in motivation and I built something new, which kind of refresh that motivation. Sometimes it's as simple as getting a new pair of like trainers that are cool, or a new like gym gear, or like a new tech, like one of those watches, a Garmin, or like whether it's a new bottle or something that just refreshes. Like it gives you that excitement to want to go back to the gym again, because like on your way to becoming something, if the motivation comes and you want to stick with it, you're not going to be motivated forever. You are going to go through peaks and troughs of motivation. That's just the nature of life. So when you go through one of those troughs, or at the very start, just do something that is going to stimulate you into like getting over that. And like what you've got to do is you've got to minimize the initial inertia, i.e., don't make the task mammoth right from the start, and also maximize the pleasure or excitement for doing that task, if that makes sense. Because maybe the reverse is gonna um, make it more understandable. Like if you have, if you like I just said, if you were to your first ever session, the first time you went to the gym, you had to sign up and go for a mammoth session, having never been. You're going to spend an hour or two buying your membership and then straight into the mammoth session where you're lifting the whole body workout because you see the whole body and cardio. And you're going to spend like 6 hours at the gym for the first time you've ever been there, and you don't have any clothes for it. You're doing it in jeans. You don't have your phone. Your phone's dead. Blah 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 blah. Like, so the task is going to be mammoth, and there's nothing that's making you excited to go. So then when you do it, it's just going to be like a Pavlovian dog. You're going to learn that it's not great. But if you were to make that really small, like just go into the vicinity of the gym and get yourself a coffee, whilst maybe treating yourself to some new gym gear or some gym clothes, or um, doing something that you personally like that's going to help you actually feel some excitement or want to do. Like it's got to be fun. It's got to be fun. Like it's not all doom and gloom. Life should be fun at some points. So just remember that. And when you're trying to, you know, um, trying to ignite some motivation, it's got to start with a bit of fun and not too difficult right from the start. And then eventually you start getting the motivation, and then you work your way up to like difficult sets where it's like embedded in your life. And this isn't just the gym for, like I know I've said a million times, this is for anything in your life that you want to do, whether it's art, whether it's coding, whether it's um, meeting mates, or anything that you want to change about your life. Just remember, start off easy, make it fun, and the motivation will come. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a subscribe. If there's anything, so there's people that have been commenting about what they want me to talk about on certain platforms like YouTube. So if you, and that's good. I like that when people do that. So if you've got a topic that you want me to talk about, um, just comment it on the section below, and I will check it out because I've only got like 3 subscribers currently, so I will definitely see it, and I most likely will take that into consideration and do a video on it next time. So yeah, if you want to see that video, if you want me to talk about something, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later on.